we need to order shoes for the baseball team. And I think we should find out the average size so we can get like the general idea of what to order.
Well, the average size is 11. We need to determine whether that's the actual size so we can get the correct sizes.
I don't know how to do that, do you? No. I think we should ask Professor Huber.
Good idea.
Because he's good at stats. He can teach us. Professor Huber, we need your help for something for the baseball team.
Okay, what do you need help with?
So we have the shoe sizes, but we need a test to make sure the average is correct so we know what to order.
Okay, so let's go over the shoe sizes for the baseball team.
Okay, I'll write
Do
them.
you have them?
Yeah, here.
Oh, perfect.
Here are the shoe sizes, and there's 20 players on the team.
Okay,
So,
awesome. At first, like I said, we need to figure out what type of test we're going to do. And since we're using means or averages in this situation, we need to look at a hypothesis test. Our data that we have right here, we notice that we have 20 samples right here. And because of that and the fact that we are trying to determine if the mean of the shoe sizes is correct, we will run a hypothesis t-test. First step is to state the hypothesis, and we know that the average is 11. So that is going to be what we're basing our hypothesis on in the first of the 5 steps. So the null hypothesis will be that the mu equals 11 because we believe that the average shoe size is 11. And therefore, because the null hypothesis is mu equals 11, the alternate hypothesis would therefore be that mu does not equal 11. And that is the first step.
oh, sounds good.
The second step of the hypothesis t-test is to find the critical values. And we can do that by going into your stats list editor and choosing F5 inverse t. And today, in order to have a small margin of error, we're going to set alpha at 0.05. And in a hypothesis t-test where the null hypothesis is equal, the area is going to be equal to alpha. In this case, which I said was 0.05. And as in a t-test, the degrees of freedom is n minus 1. And in this situation, the n, or the sample size, is 20. So you subtract 1 from that, and you get 19. So you put in the area, 0.05, and degrees of freedom would be 19.
Okay.
And when you do that, let's see what we get. Here we go. So, what we get is plus or minus 1.729, or plus or minus 1.73. Good job, you got it right. Learning quickly. Now, we draw the curve. And in the curve tells us where our test statistic should be. If it lies in this area, we will accept the null hypothesis or do not reject the null hypothesis. And if it does not lie within this area here, we will reject it. So now let's move on to step 3. And that is to find the test statistic. You got to remember that we apply the test statistic into the curve. And if it doesn't fit, then we reject it. If it does fit, we do not reject it. Let's find that test statistic. Okay, so we're going to find the hypothesis t-test by going to F6, number 2. And since we have a multitude of data here, we are going to click data. After we put that into our calculator, mu naught will be 11. And in this situation, I have plugged it into list 1 of my calculator, so I'll put list 1. And then the alternate hypothesis will be mu does not equal mu naught. And then we press enter, and we get our lovely t-test answer here, which is 1.917 or 1.92 if you prefer to round that. Okay, and so now that leads us into step 4. Okay, so now that we have determined the test statistic using our wonderful calculator, we will move on to step 4, which is making a decision. And in this case, the decision is determining if we reject the null hypothesis or we do not reject the null hypothesis. And we determine that by figuring out if the test statistic fits into the critical values or not. And in this case, the test statistic is 1.92, and our critical values, as you can see here, are plus or minus 1.73. And because in this case it is larger, it is outside of the critical values. Therefore, we reject in this situation. According to the results, the average shoe size for the Jesuit High School varsity baseball team is not 11.
So now when we're ordering shoes, we know that the average is not 11, so we should order a variety of different sizes.
I'm so happy my shoes are the right size.
I'm really glad I got the right size of shoes.